Dr. King has inspired me through his words and by living an example of what I aspire to be. And that is one who is selfless, one who is a servant leader, but one who is also out there spreading the word and doing the work, and not just being a orator who is telling people but not actually showing people. So by example, he has inspired me not just to think about it and be aware, but to be engaged in doing. There is someone who has had a major influence in my life, and that's my grandmother. My grandmother essentially raised me. My parents were very young, too young actually to take on the responsibility, but she, as many grandparents and grandmothers especially have done, stepped in and modeled for me what good parenting is, what good adulting is, but mainly what good humanity is. And I think by her example, I was able to not only learn from my mistakes, but also look at how I could be better. I think I'd like to have the work that I do speak volumes about the possibilities of humankind. I think it's too easy to be frustrated. I myself am often frustrated by the lack of humanity that I see, but I also look into those corners where people are actually being quite good and quite decent. And I think if we can focus, and if I can focus, and by extension, if we can focus on those everyday ways in which people are actually being quite decent, they're being respectful and compassionate and kind and forgiving and empathetic, but mostly self-reflection, that is the ultimate of what we can do as a civilized people, and also as a civilized nation, and as a civilized world. Thank you, Dr. King, for being the example, and not just telling us what to do, but showing us how to do, not just leaving us great words to be inspired by, but living those words, and for reminding us that our lives are better when we challenge the status quo, that we cannot be champions of diversity without being champions of social justice. And social justice is precisely interrupting that status quo, so that at the end of the day, it is ultimately about our humanity, both our own and how we extend that humanity to other people.